Good morning, lovelies. How are you all doing today? I hope you are well. I am, sort of, still these stupid ribs. It's now, where are we? It was Monday, today's Friday, so it's a week and sort of 4 or 5 days. 7, 11, 12 days. Anyway, it's getting better. It's still really sore with something. So I'm being really careful. I'm being really careful and modifying my scope of work, as it were. But like I was saying in the garden, when I was showing you around the garden, there are things I can do and get on with, and I certainly will. But today's exciting because, yay, it's asbestos removal day. So yesterday I had to empty the shed, which, again, just going really slowly, picking things up with my left hand, leaving my right alone. But then, you remember the grey shelves? It was my DVD stand unit storage in London that I've shoved in the shed because it's a bit of shelving. Great. There's no way I was going to get that out. And I thought, you know what, just leave it and apologise when the workforce turns up this morning and say, sorry, I couldn't lift it, can you? So the team of one has arrived. Really nice guy. We've been having a chat about the job, and we just got chatting because that's what I do. Ended up talking about YouTube and what I do on YouTube, and talking about trying to do as much of my work as possible myself, whether it's a bit of plumbing stuff, a bit of building, DIY, whatever it is. And he was actually telling me that this kind of asbestos, I wouldn't recommend it though. I actually could have removed this myself, but I would still need them to dispose of it. Anyway, he's doing the whole thing. So we'll go out in a second to see how he's getting on. He doesn't think it's going to take too long. And the great thing is, of course, because I've got that back entry to my garden, it's a little bit of a wiggle to get out. It's all very overgrown, but it does go out to a place where it doesn't go out to the road, but it goes out to a place where from there he can then get to the road, so the whole thing can be done outside. It doesn't have to come through the flat, which is great. And I think probably, I just reached for my water bottle. It's little things like that, reaching for my water bottle, and it's quite sharp. And yet, yes, lack of sleep, that's what's really doing my head in. I've tried everything. I've tried the sitting up, tons of pillows. Anyway, it's just what's going on at the moment, so it's not going to last forever. Yay! So my guys this morning, he's called James, we'll go and have a little catch up with him in a second. But I thought it was going to be half a day, possibly even more. So again, it's one of those things where I've arranged my work accordingly. So I'm here at my desk in the window. I've got the blinds down because it's so bright. The temperature indoors in this room, it's 24 degrees, and in Fahrenheit that's about 76. So that's perfect. It's the first time the whole place has got above 20. It is a really, really cool home. But my goodness, what a difference to the flat in London, where this heat wave that we're having in the UK. So sorry, I should have said it's the 20th of June in my time. London is getting 30 degrees. We're getting 22, 23 here because that sea breeze is perfect. 30 degrees in London would mean that my flat would get up to 35, 36, and it starts to get to the inertia stage. So, yay! I mean, obviously it means this flat is going to be colder in winter. Just buy more thermals. But yes, it's a lovely temperature. I'd rather be outside. I'd always rather be outside, but never mind. I'm indoors, so I'm going to get on with some indoor work. I've already, you can see over my shoulder, that's a shop order that came in very late last night. Came in about 11:30 last night, and I thought, shall I complete the order tonight? I thought, no, Vivi, go to bed. So that's done and ready to go to the post office as soon as James has finished. But in the meantime, I've got a ton of work to do on the computer. So I'll get on with that. Then the kitchen is a bit of a mess. There's things I need to do in the kitchen which we can do shortly. So that's the order of play for this morning at least. Computer, kitchen mess, and we'll go out and see how James is getting on in the garden with the asbestos in the shed. So you can see the shed is out here. Oh look, danger, danger. No, I'm not authorised. And I've got this Teletubby in my garden. Morning, James.
Morning.
Well, you know what, at least it's not too hot yet. I think it's about 23, 24 degrees, but do you get boiling in that?
Yeah, really hot.
It kind of reminds me of work when I had to mask up for that. Look at that mask when we come to the side. Look at that, it's a full-on mask. It's like when I used to have to mask up for my kids with TB. Yeah. But you said it's going to, it's all sealed up already. So you're going to slip in there and just start
removing, yeah.
And banging. Well, I'm going to let you get on. I'll stay out of the way, I think, yeah, just in case there's any of it flying around. But yeah, because I'm definitely not. Well, I'm not in overalls. I'm in a nice summer frock. This doesn't count, does it? Thanks, James. I'll let you get on, and we'll catch up when it's progress.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, let's leave the pros to do it. Do they do the suit in any other colour than white?
Blue and red.
Oh, all right. So you could line up the three of you and be very patriotic.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Gosh, I don't envy him and his colleagues on these hot days. I mean, like I said, it's not too hot yet, but having to be suited up and masked up like that, and that's a tiny, tiny confined space he's working in, so I better make sure. I was going to say, I haven't got any cold beer in the fridge, but actually he's got to drive. This is the start of his working day. He's got to drive off to the next site after me, so a cold beer wouldn't be appropriate, but I make sure I'll have a big glass of nice cold water ready for him when he's finished, so he can replenish some of his lost fluid. Right, let him get on, and I'm going to get back to the computer. Oh, it's getting brighter by the minute. It's going to be such a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day already. Right, that's about an hour and a bit done on the computer at the desk. That's enough for now. There's a lot more to do, but this is very typical actually for one of my days. I'm going to walk away from it for a few minutes. I'm going to go and see how he's getting on outside, but also just by way of, it's that thing of don't sit still for too long. I can't sit still anyway, but you know, if you work at a desk, try every hour or so to remind yourself to get up and move around. So as part of my getting up and moving around, I'm going to go and water the front garden. Actually no, sun's up now. I'll leave the watering till later, but what I can do is the tomatoes that I've got out the front, they need tying into their canes. So I'll go and tie the tomatoes in, see how a chap's getting on out the back, and I think about my next job, whether I want to come and sit back down here and carry on, or go and do something else, just a bit of something that's a bit more physical and moving around you. Anyway, let's go and see how he's getting on outside. Okay, nearly there. Oh, he's just gone off to take another load. Bless him, going up the snicket. It is uphill to where his van's parked, so yeah, he's very hot and sweaty. I've offered a glass of something cold. He said no thank you, but yeah, that's the last one, all bagged up. And then the final thing is apparently tons of the render has come off, so he's going to go back in and sweep that all out. Bless him. Yay! Getting on. Thank goodness. How lovely to have back access now. Did he bolt it? Did he see the sign? Did he bolt the gate? Oh, I'll forgive him. Is this the last bits?
Yeah, we've got these 2 bags that.
up the mountain with them.
Yeah.
And then, oh, it's naked. Yay! Safe. Oh, look, it's revealed the stone as well. Oh, I love it. Oh, it's like a wine cave. I need wine now for this. Do you need a hat? Oh, he's away. Sorry, lovely. yeah, it's obviously the render has come away. That's all right, it doesn't need to be rendered. I think probably in time what I'll do is I'll chip away at the rest of the render and have it off. Oh, it smells different as well. It smells earthy almost. It doesn't smell of what it was once upon a time, which was the outdoor lavvy. You can see where the cistern was up there. That's curious. They're coming across at an angle in the bottom there. It always fascinates me to see a space, a building, whatever, deconstructed. Obviously I don't want to deconstruct it too much, but oh, he's done a lovely job cleaning up in there. Yeah, I think, what will I do? I certainly brush the walls. Oh, I'm just thinking now in terms of shelving, drilling into this stone. Oh, to put shelves up, maybe not. And also it's pretty uneven. Obviously at the back there's brick. So maybe what I would do is get the last of the render off there and then shelve out the back wall. Because actually, if that's all shelved out, that's enough for all my pots and trays and what have you. Oh, how exciting. A whole nother room. And more than anything, never mind that, it's now safe. If I go drilling, it is safe. Good. Good, good, good. Tick, another job off the list. I'm delighted. This was a small job. There are some very, very big jobs to come, but you know what, let's celebrate progress. This is progress. Yippee! Now the fun of putting it all back in. Slowly, slowly, catching my key. What was I just saying though about, you know, if you work at a desk a lot of the day, get up, find other jobs to do where you're up and about and being a bit more physical. Just move that body as much as you can every day. I won't keep you here for the whole process. Actually, you're quite low. Let me tip you up so I can see you to talk to you. Oh, there we go. Sunshine. Yeah, it's that. Again, it's very typical of how I plan each day. Sunshine, sunshine. Of if I know I've got to sit at the computer for any length of time, I make sure that I've lined up jobs which are kind of more active, on my feet, moving around, so that they can be interspersed. Likewise, if I'm going to have a really physical day, like a gardening day or whatever, I'm digging and digging and digging, pesky roots out. I just spotted a flower. A bean flower. Yeah, if I'm going to have a really physical day, I also make sure to slot into that day some sit-down jobs. So an hour or two of being really physical, and then half an hour or so, sit down, do something. That's like recovery time for the bones. Get up and get physical again. Today's the opposite. It's very much a boring, it's a really boring computer day. Emails, phone calls, lots of things to follow up on. I'm a bit behind with responding to viewers who've messaged me, so there's going to be a lot of time spent responding to people today. But that's good. Get it done. I've done loads this morning already, so yay, good. Right. I said I wasn't going to keep you here whilst I do this because it's boring. So I'll see you in a minute to do something else. Good. It's all back in. Oh, ship shape and Bristol fashion. something I don't think I've talked about, I can't remember now, but pots and growing here in my small garden compared to my allotment. I mean, when I packed the pots, I counted them. There was something like 400. I know it doesn't look it, but that's because I stack them in size order. They're really, really packed and stacked. But yeah, I do not need this many pots anymore. So I think what I'll do is this, for instance, on the end. These are Paul's pots and the labels from the plants he brought. So they've been washed, scrubbed out, cleaned, ready to give back to him because they're visiting again soon. And I think what I might do as well is just go through my pots and have a bit of a sort out and think, how many do I really need? And I can hand over a load to Paul, which even if he doesn't need them, he can take them to his allotment buddies. Or I can ask, I think pretty much all my neighbours around here grow. I gave some of my tomatoes away to local growers. So yeah, I can definitely reduce certainly the plastic. I won't be getting rid of any of my terracottas, my lovely vintage terracottas. They are special and I will use them. So yeah, good. That's that bit done, and now I can go back indoors and do something really boring on the computer. I don't like sitting on the computer all day. Oh, well, especially not when it's ready for the brightness. Look at this mess everywhere. I need to clean up again. But when it's a day like this, oh, it's gorgeous today. Oh, to be up on the down. But it's not a weekend day, it's a weekday, it's a work day. So I jolly well better get back to it. Wowzers. Today, like pretty much every other day, it's disappearing. I got up at 6:30 this morning and I was pretty much at my desk by 6:45, and it's now, I'm just looking at the clock on the cooker, it's coming up for noon. So, having just had another sit-down session on the computer, didn't enjoy it. Couldn't go out. I'm going to go to the post office with that parcel, and I've been slightly distracted on the computer all that time because my fingers still smell of tomatoes from the tomatoes in the front garden that I attended to. Anyway, yeah, so out to the post office, which reminds me, I had some lovely post, and I want to say thank you to Stella. Well, apart from anything, she sent me this. It's a little bit of Frida Kahlo. It's like a credit card wallet. You slot your credit cards in at the back. Sweet. I don't have credit cards, I don't do credit, but I will use it for something. And as Stella said, if it's not suitable for me, I can pass it on. But what a sweet little gift. But actually, it was the letter. It was your letter that got me more than anything else. I won't share I'm not going to share any actual details because obviously it's private and personal. But, and this is what I love about when I hear from people, is hearing your stories of how you've turned things around for yourself by basically going the frugal route to get out of debt, whatever it is, to get yourself debt free and to be in a position as Stella is, and really, really, really good luck with this, saving to buy her first home. I think we're a similar age, a little tiny bit older than me, but she's saving to buy her first home. Bravo, Missy, go for it. But yeah, she was just sort of saying thank you to me for my videos and how in me sharing what I do, it helps to keep her motivated. And, look, this isn't a braggarty thing, but I hear it a lot from folks saying, thank you, you're helping to keep me motivated. And I think that's one of the biggest things in life, isn't it? Motivation. How do we stay motivated? I seem to have this kind of demonic brain that just pushes me on all the time. It's like, keep going, do this, do that. So my motivation, I think, is it's very much an internal thing. And that's not to say, though, that there are days when I get up and I think, oh, can't be bothered. Like I was saying about the garden the other day, there are days I go, oh, can't be bothered. But I do push myself on because I know the result. At the end of the day, when I have pushed myself when I didn't feel like it, I get to the end of the day and I think, I'm so glad I stuck with this thing today, because yay, this thing is finally ticked off the list, for example. So I am more than happy to share my days of doing stuff and getting on and getting things done if it helps others to... Oh, it still hurts when I do a deep breath. Yeah, if it helps others to stay motivated and get on. Now, the other thing that's a possibility for me to do today... Excuse me, it's suddenly getting quite hot and humid. It's because I've just closed everything up in readiness to go out. Like as an alternative to computer and work, if I'm having one of my work breaks, I've actually ordered from Tinternet a garden table, a sort of, you know, a dining table for the garden, which will be, yes, for folk to sit around to eat, and for me, for my own use when I'm on my own, to sit out in the garden to eat. But also it will work as a bit of a potting table, because at the moment, you can't see, the kitchen, using my left arm, the kitchen, there's stacks of pots, there's a bag of compost at my feet here. That's another job later, but that's not a work job. So there's that, we were talking about this the other day as well, that kind of, not definition, but defining the day in terms of the work that generates an income, that's the priority, and then the work that's just life, like potting things on, that has to come second. But if I can do both, a little bit of both every day, then great. But yeah, so this table, I've been looking in the second-hand places. I'm happy to wait for a kitchen table. I'm happy to wait, you know, even if it takes me 2 years to find a vintage antique kitchen table, that's fine. But I was really starting to need one for the garden. Want one, need one. So I bought from the internet, and it was on offer. I'd seen it already and I'd bookmarked it. I bookmarked it back in London, in fact. And then I kept getting little alerts telling me, I don't know, I've signed up to something, I don't know what it is. Alerts when a price comes down. And it was come down. So I thought, yes, let's have it. And it arrived a few days ago. And why I'm kicking myself is because I've had another visitor in the meantime. Our lovely Mark from my London days. Some of you will remember our lovely friends Mark and Mon, M&M, from the allotment, but also from outside the allotment. And they made me cross with this. They went and emigrated to Norway. How dare they? Anyway, so they've emigrated. They've been in Norway for 4 years now. Time just disappears. Anyway, they're back in the UK for a week. She's, here for work. So Mark has been kind of doing a little whistle-stop tour, just visiting various friends, and said to me, are you going to be around on a certain date? I'm going to be in Swanage in the evening. Let's meet up. Of course I'll be around. If I wasn't around, I'd make sure I was around. Anyway, we had a lovely evening. We met up down in Swanage about 6 o'clock. Had a pint at the Molam, and then walked around the front for fish and chips. Fish and chips by the sea. Actually, I didn't have the fish. Brought them home here, and then we sat out in my garden for the whole evening. It was lovely. It's the first time I've properly sat out in the garden to enjoy it. It was gorgeous. What I didn't think of though, and I'm sure Mark would have been happy to give me a hand, is I have to build the table. It's arrived in a box like that. Like, are you sure there's a dining table in there? We were too busy chatting and chilling and just enjoying a beautiful summer evening in the garden. I had a couple of glasses of wine as well, and Mark tucked into his chips and fish and what have you. Anyway, so I'm wondering, it was lovely. It was so lovely to have him come and visit. And I said, next time, both of you come and you must stay. Come and stay a couple of days. So I hope they'll take me up on that. I'm mentioning the table because I really want to get it built, and I'm wondering, is it something I can do with this still quite soreness going on? I And maybe I could build it with the tabletop facing down on the floor, but then I wouldn't be able to flip it over. We'll see. Anyway, that's the thing, there's always those kind of jobs to do that aren't work jobs, but they are jobs that I'd like to fit in at some point. So, but none of that's going to happen unless I get myself off to the post office now with that parcel. But yeah, I just wanted to reiterate to Stella, thank you so much. What a lovely surprise. What a lovely surprise. Naughty of you. Naughty of you, but yeah, a delight to read your letter. Thank you. Right, off I go. It's getting hotter by the minute. Sunscreen, I've got my sunscreen here. It sits on the kitchen table now all the time just to remind me when I go out, slap it all over. See you in a minute. Cool, it ain't half hot, Mum. It's my face dripping, glowing. Clean hanky moment. I know folk have often said in the past, especially when they see me in the garden, it's so hot out there. I'll come back to the garden thought in a second. What's really great, what's the thermometer? The thermometer's still only reading 23.5, 24 in here. It feels so cool coming from outside, and the kitchen even cooler. The kitchen's only about 20 degrees. So this fabulous little flat home of mine is working perfectly for the summer months. It's everything I hoped for. Light, immediately I can get outside and be in the heat and on the beach, but then come in and it's cooler. Yeah, I was just mentioning that because folk have often said to me with videos, you need to be wearing sunglasses, you need to protect your eyes, you need to wear a hat, da da da. I do these things, but I don't film with them on, because if I film with, our eyes are so much of our communication. You can't see my eyes, you know, I can't communicate to you. Anyway, well that was a quick little foray down to the post office. I decided while I was out that I wanted to have a salad for lunch today. It wasn't what I'd planned. I had taken a curry out of the freezer. And I know that I've got half a cucumber, a small red onion, I've got some olives in the cupboard, got a little bit of leftover feta. So with tomatoes, Greek salad, not my own tomatoes, but as you'll see everywhere around Swanage, Isle of Wight tomatoes, so it's just a little hop over the water to us. All sorts of different ways, different varieties you can buy. You buy mixed lots, and actually there is a place that I can buy them loose, so I really ought to start going there to buy them loose. The only thing is, they sell a lot of meat. I mean, it's all kind of free range and, you know, really high standards, but even so it's a bit like, oh, I've got to go past all the meat to get to the tomatoes, but they're loose, so it might be worth it. And then the other thing I sort of remembered while I was out, because I went past the estate agent, is I spotted this in our local newspaper yesterday, full page advert. So this bungalow, it's a lovely little bungalow, is in Langton Matrabas, my grandparents' old village. I know this bungalow quite well, and I've been in this bungalow many times because this next door is my grandparents' house. So you can see these huge gardens. I think it's about third of an acre getting on towards half. And that's why my grandma was able to develop self-sufficiency once they moved here. This is a beautiful little house, and what's lovely is it's the first time it's ever been on the market. What does it say? I mean, it's been a family home since it was built in 1955. So in those days, that house, I won't say the names of the people because, well, the people who owned it when I was little, I imagine they're probably dead by now, or very, very elderly. So it will be their children who were about 10 years, sort of half a generation between me and my sister and my mum. So more like my mum's generation. Anyway, in those days, the road, the high street is that way, the main road. This road comes along and along and along, and then my grandparents' house was the last house, and then it was the fields. There are now, I think 3 or 4 have been built here I remember I was telling you that Tom built his own house. But yeah, built in 1955 because he was a quarryman and stonemason. So if you're a quarryman and stonemason, you jolly well build your own home. And it stayed in the family all that time. So yeah, I was half in a mind. I want to go knock on the door and say, you won't remember me, because I was really little. But yeah, I've played in that garden many times. Obviously played in this garden. This garden doesn't look anything like my grandparents had. Also with my grandparents' property, they had all the back garden, and then they also had an entire sort of side garden and front garden. But I gasped when I saw it, and I thought, oh, I nearly said their names then, it's house. But to know that it's been in the family the whole time, 55, so that's 70 years. And anyway, they were, grandma and granddad were really good friends, and like I said, we used to come and go, not quite as we pleased, but we used to come and go a lot. And I mean, just that garden, wouldn't you have it just for the garden? And then beyond it, what's beyond it? Fields. And from the front, you can just about see the sea in the distance. Out of my price range, I did a gulp when I saw the price. In case you want to know, shall I tell you how much it is? Because actually, when I saw it, because it's detached and it's got that land, I thought, oh, and I partly kept it for that reason. I thought, oh, I must tell Richard and Paul about this. This might be the perfect thing for them because it's detached and it's away from people. It's a really quiet little street, and look at all that land. £625,000, so it's out of their price range. But yeah, cute. Langton. I don't know whether they would want to, would they want to live somewhere away from all the services, or be smart like me and move into the town so I'm right on top of all the services for as and when in the future I may need them. Right, lovelies, on this stinking hot day, I mean, it's beautiful. The heat, it's so different to city heat as well, isn't it? Because obviously in the city heat, it's incredibly humid and that heat bounces off the buildings. Whereas here, yeah, it's hot, but there's that continuous sea breeze that just cools things a bit. But because it's hot, I thought, yeah, gotta have me, I made one for the guys when they were here, but a Greek salad for me. Not with my own tomatoes. Not yet. All right, lovelies. I will catch up with you again soon. I don't know for what. We might have our can-do day in the garden if it's not too hot out there. I will see you soon for something, whatever. So until then, please look after yourselves. Enjoy the sunshine. Enjoy it sensibly. Sunnies, sunscreen, hat. You're all adults. I don't need to tell you. You are all adults. You know how to be sensible when it's hot. So until the next one, cheerio.